Hello, welcome to ALM for you. So let's see what is what in SAP Cloud ALM, especially for the implementation use cases. Please make sure you pause the video and watch this disclaimer before proceeding. Let's start with the project. What is a project? Project is basically a container to keep things together. So let's say as a project lead, you have to keep your scope, timelines, your testing, everything intact. And you want to have a bounded context and you want to manage it, you want to report on it. And that's the capabilities that the project gives you. Then what is scope? Scope is what the project lead signs up that I will manage it, I will make it productive, or I will maintain it. So basically, it's a collection of processes that you want to manage together. You can create multiple scopes, and we'll go into the details in later videos, but basically, scope is a collection of solution processes which are bundled together in solution scenarios. So, what is a process? One of the main advantage of SAP Cloud ALM is it helps you in your fit to standard workshops, which typically start by a BPMN process, which the business experts can look at. So that's where the discussions are always in context of an actual process, and the process content actually is pre-delivered by SAP. Requirement. When you look at the business process, then the business expert will say, you know what, this picture is not perfect. It is missing something. And that missing piece is the requirement. So it's a business need that needs to be fulfilled by the subsequent processing. Then what is a user story? First of all, it's an optional unit. You do not have to create it, but if you work in this fashion, then yes, you can create it. It's a breakdown of a user requirement into smaller units, which then can be distributed into teams and can managed using agile methodology. So what is a task? Anything that needs to be done is a task, and task management is actually a very powerful capability in SAP Cloud ALM. In fact, the entire project is structured into phased deliverable and tasks. And when we talk about requirements, then requirements can also be broken down into user stories and then subtasks. So that's basically anything that you need to do, you need to track to make sure the project is complete. Then what is a feature? Feature is a shipping unit. So imagine, let's say, if you order something, let's say from say Amazon, and you make multiple purchases during the day. And that's what I typically do. Sometimes I'll order books in the morning, and then by the afternoon, I'm missing something in my garage. And by the evening, I remember that, I need something for the kitchen as well. So I order these three individual packages, but the Amazon system is pretty efficient, and then they see that okay, these things are going to the same person and maybe they should also go at the same time for convenience, so why don't I make a bundle out of that? So that delivery bundle is called as feature. Typically the feature is a collection of user stories, but you can also create features in thin air if you want to, let's say, do production fixes. A test case, I think this is easy to understand. It's typically attached to a requirement. The idea is that the business capability that is described is fully tested before it is deployed. And defect, this we all know. Anything that does not work as expected, that's defect. So what is a system? So in SAP Cloud ALM, we use the terms tenant in certain user interfaces, and in some user interfaces, we call them system. But it's basically, anything. You can say that this is your familiar mainly as a tenant, but the new terminology guidelines is we call it system. And it's for a particular business product. And then what is a system group? This is relatively a new entity that we have delivered. So it's basically a collection of systems for one product line, such as all the systems, tenants, for a particular business product, such as SAP S/4HANA Cloud. Total, they are called system group. But please note, this is really a loose collection. This does not have semantics of transport routes, but at least it helps to keep things organized. What is a release? First of all, again, you do not have to use it. You use it only if you need it. The most typical scenario is when you have multiple projects and projects running with multiple heartbeats or even different methodologies. And then the PMO office wants to ensure certain key events such as integration testing, common deployment, and things like that. So there, the release manager can create a central schedule which then can be published to all the projects. And this is the last one, and then you can take a break. So this is a collection. Deployment plan is a collection of different releases that we create and the landscape that we are going to use. So this makes kind of, you can say, a bounded context. That means as a project lead, if I choose a deployment plan, then a lot of things are simplified for me. I do not need to struggle to find that am I using the right systems? And also I know what is the prescribed timelines from the PMO office by which I should match my timelines, and then I have local flexibility to manage it. So that's all for this video. Hope you enjoy it and stay tuned to the channel. Bye bye. Have a great day.